One of the coolest compliments I ever got after a show was from a sound guy. A sound guy walked up to me once after a show and he said, "I love your cymbal work." And it's the first time I ever heard that compliment from anybody. And I thought that was really cool. And the thing is, man, it's really just because of this. I'm one of those types of drummers that loves playing cymbals. I love what you can get these things to do, especially the ride. Your ride cymbal is your most versatile cymbal out of everything you got sitting here. There is a ton of music in this cymbal here. And if you know how to hit it right, if you know how to play it, there's a lot of different things that you can do with this to really complement what's going on in the environment. I could get through an entire show with a pair of hi-hats and the right ride cymbal. So, this is just a quick video, man. I'm gonna give you some tips on how you can play your ride to get the most out of it. There are two types of drummers on this planet. Drummers that hit cymbals and drummers that play cymbals. There's a huge difference, believe it or not. So with the ride in particular, man, I mean, this thing, you gotta remember that this is an instrument. It's no different than a guitar or bass or piano or whatever. I mean, this is an instrument and you have to approach it that way. You wouldn't pick up an acoustic guitar and just play it like this the entire time, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do to that guitar to get different sounds out of it, depending on your fingering and you know what you do on the neck and all kinds of different stuff. The way you pick it, the way you strum it. Ride cymbal is the same thing. It just looks like a big disc, but there's a lot of different ways you can hit this thing to make music with it. So let me just touch on a few different ways that I approach playing the ride cymbal. The first thing that you need to do is identify the areas or the musical parts of the ride that you can use. Number one, there's the edge. Number two, there's, I believe, what's called the bow part of the cymbal. And then there's the bell. Now, depending on where you hit it and how you hit it with the stick, it's another thing because this also plays a part in it. By the way, still hanging in there, man. Still hanging in. Anyways, yeah. The tip of the stick and the shaft of the stick, depending on where you play it on the ride, you can get some really subtle or very dramatic different sounds out of your cymbal. So let's look at each one. First of all, the edge. The edge of the cymbal is for crashing. Depending on the type of cymbal that you have in terms of thickness, this is one of the main reasons why I like to use thinner cymbals, thin to medium weight cymbals, because crashability is super important to me. So the way I set my ride up is on a little bit of an angle facing towards me, and I approach it by hitting the edge of the ride with the shaft of the stick. And I'm really it really kind of depends on the situation. Sometimes I just attack it. Sometimes I'm sort of really subtle with it, the way I hit it. But for the most part, right there, man, like that's a sweet spot. You can get a really nice sort of crash out of your ride by hitting it right there. Right around here, this is all about stick definition. So all your subtleties, a lot of stuff that you can play on the hi-hats, you can transfer over to this part of it. And this is one of the sweetest parts of your ride cymbal, because you can go straight from like, you know, furious crashing to really subtle kind of raindrop type, you know, stick work using the tip of the stick. And then of course, there's the bell. The bell, for me, whenever I'm shopping for a ride cymbal, the bell is definitely one of the most important things that I'm going to look at, because I use the bell for accents a lot. And it's not just ting, 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 you know what I mean? Like a lot of times I like to play cool rhythmic patterns on the bell just for accents and stuff. Sometimes I'll sort of accent a backbeat with that bell. And you know, there's a lot of different things that I'll do with the bell, but I'm looking for one that's nice and bright. And when I'm playing it, I use this part of the stick, so right where the taper is, and I come at it like right here, like right from the side. And I'm just kind of pushing the stick right up against it to get that nice bell sound. Another thing that I like to do with my ride cymbal, I think this is something I ripped off of Steve Gadd, but sometimes I'll use this entire flat surface and just lean right into it. So all of this here will make contact with the ride, and I just kind of sort of lean right into it this way. And it's just another sort of aggressive type crash sound that you can get out of it. And yeah, you know, it's just another option for you to play your cymbal. So there's really no wrong way to play your ride cymbal, you know. I mean, unless you're cracking them and breaking them like crazy. It's really up to you. But for me, man, it's like I like to get as many sounds out of this cymbal as I can. Like I said, this is the most versatile cymbal on your entire kit. So it should encourage you to experiment. Now, the way you play your cymbal will affect the type of ride that you get. So, you know, the more you mess with this and the more your taste sort of develop on how you play your ride, that's really going to sort of narrow down the playing field a little bit when you go shopping for one, because you're going to want it to respond to how you do it. So if you want to do a ton of crashing and washing and stuff like that, metal ride cymbal is probably not going to do it for you, because it's going to be way too thick, you know what I mean? Those sort of loud, heavy metal rides might not do it for you. You know, and on the other hand, it's like if you're a heavy hitter, sometimes thinner cymbals won't do what you want it to do because you need more volume. So depending on how you play your cymbal, you know, that'll determine what kind that you end up getting. But for the all-arounders, you know what I mean, the weekend workers and the jobbers and stuff like that, you want one versatile ride cymbal. You're going to want to look for one that does everything for you. So you want a loud bell, great crashability, really nice stick definition in this area, and then you can go from there. So there you have it, man. Those are my ride tips. Thanks for watching this video. I do have to mention, if you dig this and my other videos, if you've been checking them out, please consider supporting me on Patreon. You can now support this channel on Patreon. Hit that link in the description box. It'll take you straight over to the page. You can check it out. I would love your support, but hey, no pressure, man. No pressure at all. The content on this channel is always free for you to enjoy. So don't worry about it. I would love it. If you don't, that's cool. I don't hate you. Have fun playing your ride cymbal. Don't forget to tell people where you learned this. Like, subscribe. See you next video.